Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my review of the death battle between Batman Beyond and Spider-Man 2099. For those of you that are new to these reviews, I focus less on the animation and humor of Death Battle, and instead focus on the research and critical analysis. You see, I wish to improve my own skills in these fields, and these prediction/review videos are a perfect way for me to do so. This video will consist of me going over what I got wrong in my prediction, what I got right, and then what I learned. Let's begin. First, what I got wrong. I significantly underestimated the physical strength of both combatants, although for different reasons. With Batman, I was aware of the feat of him lifting this boulder, but I was too lazy to calculate it because I just didn't want to deal with the buoyancy math, which was a mistake on my part. With regards to Spider-Man's strength, I made 4 mistakes. The first was a basic research error. Someone brought to my attention that Spider-Man 2099 has an official profile page on the Marvel website, and in that profile, it says that his spider strength allows him to lift 10 times his body weight. Now, these profiles are notoriously outdated, so this really only applies to his original series, but still, it's embarrassing that I didn't think to check here. The second mistake I made was with regards to this tank feat. I said it weighed less than 1 ton, while Death Battle said it weighs 20 tons. While I can't be certain what my mistake was, I can make an educated guess. My method was very random. I just bounced from tank to tank until I found a gun that looked vaguely similar in size to the one from the feat, which was definitely not the most effective way to go about it. Now, the logic I think Death Battle used goes something like this. After doing a bit more research regarding the weight distribution of tanks, which I should have done in the first place, I found that the general rule of thumb was that the tank gun can only take up 10% of the tank's total weight at most. In other words, if you had a tank that weighed 100 tons, then the absolute maximum amount the gun could weigh is 10 tons. With that in mind, the heaviest tank ever built was the Panzer VIII Maus, which weighs 203 tons. As such, we know it's possible for a tank to weigh 203 tons, and we know it's possible for a tank gun to take up 10% of the total weight. Combine these two together, and the highest conceivable weight a tank gun could have is 20.3 tons, almost exactly what Death Battle said in their video. I am further convinced that this was their reasoning because it lines up with their philosophy of showing characters at their maximum potential. To that end, they give feats the benefit of the doubt and interpret them in the most reasonably positive light possible in order to do the characters the most justice. So that's what I think their rationale was regarding this feat. The third mistake I made was, again, another basic research error. Miguel's best strength feat came from his video game, which, as I said in my prediction, I did not look into. I had enough time to look into it, I just chose not to for admittedly poor reasons. So, my bad there. And my final mistake regarding strength actually stems from me overestimating Peter Parker. Ever since my Venom vs. Bane prediction, I have been under the mistaken impression that Peter could lift tens of thousands of tons because of this feat here, in which he supposedly held up the Daily Bugle building. However, as it turns out, that's not what actually happened. I was missing some context. He didn't actually hold up the entire building. By his own admission, all he held up was a single support beam. So this feat isn't nearly as crazy as I thought it was. In reality, Peter's maximum strength is only around 130 tons, so I'm glad Death Battle set me straight on that. Other than strength, the only major difference between my analysis and Death Battle's was that they went into more depth regarding Lyla and her hacking ability. I knew pretty much everything they brought up in this discussion on whether Lyla could hack Terry, and I reached similar conclusions. I just didn't discuss it in depth in my video. Although, in retrospect, I probably should have. That's everything I got wrong. Now for what I got right. I correctly predicted the winner of this death battle! Huzzah! Now, Death Battle does not have the time to discuss every single tiny aspect of a character's skill set, so instead, they do their best to just talk about the major factors that decide the fight. As such, I take no personal pride in having larger videos than Death Battle, simply because I know they could do a much better job than me if they had the time. All I really hope to do in my prediction is correctly guess what the major factors are in deciding these fights, and for this match, I think I did just that. Almost all of the main advantages Terry had over Miguel that Death Battle brought up, I also brought up, including Terry's superior speed, strength, training, and arsenal. That's everything I got right. Now for what I learned. I learned, once again, that there are holes in my research, and if I have the time, then there is no excuse for me to not look into these sources. I also learned that I still tend to undersell the capabilities of characters. I need to give these characters and their feats the benefit of the doubt and interpret them in the best light possible. In fact, I'd even go so far as to say that I need to drastically overestimate the capabilities of these characters because, as my history shows, even when I'm trying to give these characters the benefit of the doubt, I still don't do them justice. So, with any future feat in which it's up to interpretation, I will try to amp up every aspect of the feat as much as possible, because anything less than that would probably be doing it wrong. That's everything I learned, which means we've reached the end of the video. I am happy to be on a winning streak again, and I feel much more satisfied with this prediction than I did with my Naruto vs Ichigo prediction. I got that match right by sheer luck, whereas with this match, I feel like I actually did something of worth. Anyway, that next time is crazy though. I have a decent idea of what Virgil is all about, but I have heard very differing accounts of what Sephiroth can do. Like, some people say he can destroy solar systems, while other people say he's just a weaker version of Virgil, which bodes poorly for me. I do terribly when it comes to interpreting characters with hard-to-pin-down power levels, and it sounds like Sephiroth's exact power is highly debated. I hope I can do him justice, but I'm gonna predict right now that Final Fantasy fans are gonna get mad at me. In fact, even if I say Sephiroth wins, they're probably still gonna get mad at me. Nonetheless, I look forward to researching these characters. I've been wanting to check out Final Fantasy VII and Devil May Cry for ages, so I'm sure at least that part of this whole thing will be fun. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed Batman Beyond vs. Spider-Man 2099, and I hope you're excited about this season finale. With all that said, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. Like if you enjoyed the video, comment if you got something to say, subscribe if you want to see more, and as always, have a fantastic day.